Hi everyone, it's Amazing Purple Girl here again, back with another part of Lord Winklebottom Investigates. I am back home. I apologise that I only got around to recording one episode of this. Being in a tent is quite hot, so it was hard to find time to record when it wasn't stewing and would melt down my laptop. Also, it was quite noisy around the pitch where we were, and of course being on holiday, you're doing holiday things, so again not finding the time that I was hoping to. But anyway, here we are with part 7, so let's get into it. We were interrogating the guests, Reverend, about the incident.
Reverend, could we talk about the incident?
What happened?
What can you tell us about the incident last night?
Alas, not a jot. I arrived here and went to my room for some peace and quiet before the big event. By the time I came down, poor Gilfrey had already passed.
You saw nothing unusual.
I wish I could help you, but no, I'm afraid I did not.
I don't know if I trust you, because you've got to watch. That's not why. Because your Bible was on the stairs, behind a locked door.
Well, goodbye for now, Reverend.
God be with you, my son.
Okay, try Dr. Price.
If we could talk about the incident for a moment.
What happened?
What can you tell us about Gilfrey's death?
Nothing, I'm afraid. I wasn't in the mansion at the time. I live elsewhere on the island. I prefer the solitude. It allows me to focus on my work.
I see.
How was your relationship with Gilfrey?
I was very grateful to him for offering me work. Many people aren't quite so open-minded, you know.
You don't know of anybody who would wish him harm.
Not at all. He wasn't exactly outgoing, at least in the time I knew him.
But you got along with him well.
As well as could be expected. Like most people, he underestimated me. I'm capable of far more than the work he allowed me to do, Mr. Winklebottom. But I'm used to being underappreciated.
Because you're, you know...
Indeed. Not the sort of work a woman is supposed to do, don't you know? I have to work twice as hard as the others for a quarter of the recognition.
Most frustrating, I'm sure.
And on top of that, I can't even get a lab coat my size with pockets in it. It's just infuriating.
Thank you, Miss Price.
Okay. Speak to Spode, I guess. Speak to Spode. Oh, and of course, got the happy couple over at the graveyard.
Perhaps we should discuss the incident.
What
And what can you tell us about what happened to Gilfrey?
Hard to say, old thing. I mean, there was no shortage of folks coming and going, so it really could have been anybody. Quite the collection of characters, I think you'll agree.
You don't know anybody else here?
Not one of them. I've known Gilfrey for years, but not socially. I just dealt with his legal matters.
Do you have any idea who would want to kill poor Gilfrey?
Not a clue, old thing. Not a clue.
He had no legal problems, nothing that could suggest a motive?
Nothing that I knew about, and I would have known.
How about the old will? There's always a big kerfuffle about the will in cases like this, at least in my experience.
Nothing out of the ordinary. With his wife dead, just about everything goes to Constance.
Just about everything?
Oh, there was an amount set aside for the staff, to ensure they were well looked after. Not enough to kill for, though.
Interesting.
Thank you, Mr. Spode.
Let's speak to Constance at the family grave.
Perhaps we could discuss your
Ah!
Do you happen to know if there's a particular tune or song your parents used to enjoy together?
Why, yes, there is, as a matter of fact. A song called Waddling in the Moonlight. Mother used to play it on the organ. I haven't thought about that for years.
Okay, that's helpful.
Thank you, miss. We have reason to believe your father might have owned a safe.
Oh, that's right, he did.
I say, we've been over every blasted inch of that house and I've not seen one anywhere.
You wouldn't, Dr. Frumple. Father hid it. It's behind a painting in the drawing room. You won't get into it, though. Even I don't know how it opens. Father wouldn't go near it when others were in the room.
So how do you know about it?
One time, when I was just a duckling, I snuck into the room while he had the safe open. He didn't see me, thank goodness. I don't think even the staff know it's there. I can't imagine what he kept in it.
Thank you, Miss Gilfrey. Most interesting.
I thought you were going to ask about the incident.
Farewell, Miss Gilfrey. If we could discuss the incident last night. Do you know anything about the circumstances of Gilfrey's death?
Not a jot, old thing. I mean, any one of us could have done it, couldn't we? People coming and going for this big event. I say, it could even have been you, or Dr. F here.
How dare you, sir? I'm a doctor. I would never.
Steady on, old thing. He was just making a point. How well did you know Admiral Gilfrey?
Never met the fellow. I mean, Connie has talked about him, of course, but we never actually met.
So you don't know who might have wanted to kill him?
Not a clue, old thing. Isn't it usually a family thing? Inheritance and all that?
Alas, his only family is poor Miss Gilfrey. And you, once you're married, of course.
Right, yes, I suppose so. If he'd allowed the marriage, of course. I don't think the old boy approved of me, truth be told. Like my own family, I suppose. I say, you're not suggesting we had anything to do with this, are you?
No.
I'm not suggesting anything at the moment, sir.
You kind of put yourself in there, didn't you? Oh, I'm not sure he was keen on me. He wouldn't have let me marry her, so, you know.
Mr. Spode mentioned Constance's inheritance. It will be rather substantial, I believe.
Oh, rather. I mean, jolly rotten luck and all, but she'll be a rich woman now.
And you a rich man if you're to marry her.
I say, well, that's a fine thing, isn't it? Dashed rude of you, old thing. What exactly are you suggesting?
I'm not suggesting anything, just pointing out the facts.
Well, you can get that idea out of your head right away. The nerve of you. I mean, really, it's just too much.
Would never suggest anything, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Right, okay. So, go and examine this painting.
There is apparently a safe behind this painting, but I can't see any way to get to it. The painting is fastened solidly to the wall.
Got to be some way to get it open somewhere around here.
A collection of gramophone records.
Oh look, they have Sounds of the Sea featuring Periwinkle, Flange and the Crustaceans. I love their music.
I think I'll stick to the classics.
Oh, I thought the song might be there. But of course, the gramophone's incomplete now.
A trumpetless gramophone.
Indeed, Admiral Gilfrey. Dead. Ambrose was trapped during events, not a suspect. Constance Gilfrey, unlikely to be a suspect. Reverend Archibald Peabody, nothing to say about him. Beryl Clutterbuck was hurt by Gilfrey not reciprocating. Salty Waters left Ireland, no longer a suspect. Dr. Vivienne Price, underappreciated for her work, possible motive. Humphrey, killed by salt, couldn't have used it for a murder. Madame Lavinia, nothing. Sir Winslet stands to inherit fortune if married. Ulysses Spode worked for Gilfrey for many years, unlikely suspect. Celia Wellington boot, nothing to say, and that's that. Apparently a famous actress. Here we go.
Well then, Frumple, we know the tune you need to play.
Oh, very well, if you insist. Let's see now.
Oh, he knows the song then. Ooh!
Good grief, a piece of paper shot out of the pipe when you played that last note.
Thought it sounded a bit off.
Let's take a look at this. It says, where we met, where we got engaged, where we married, where Constance was born.
Oh.
I'm not sure this is a great deal of help, but it must connect to this safe somehow.
So, we need something from the globe. Is it back to Constance then, I guess?
Perhaps we could discuss your family. Do you know much about how your parents met or where they were married?
Not a great deal, I'm afraid. I know they met on one of my father's expeditions in Africa, but not much beyond that.
What about their wedding or your own birth?
I can't help you, Lord Winklebottom. They moved around so much, you see, and had so many stories. You know, I'm not even sure where I was born. Is that strange?
Maybe. Right, so we know Africa
Thank you,
is
miss.
where they met.
Farewell, Miss Gilfrey.
The wedding was a picture.
Ah, look at this. It's Gilfrey and Ethelbert on their wedding day. A splendid time was had by all, I can assure you, Frumple. Such a tragedy Ethelbert had passed away so young.
Yes, terrible business. Just terrible.
We may be able to make use of this wedding photograph.
Careful, old thing. You're getting nearly as bad as that pilfering pelican.
Egg. That's Constance.
Maybe this might help with finding the information we need. A photograph of Constance just after she was born.
Okay.
I have reason to believe you might have accidentally placed a quantity of coins into your bill.
Oh, my word!
Oh, yes.
However did these get here? Well, perhaps you should take them, darling, and let us not make any further mention of it.
Ugh, they're all wet.
Ew.
Here, Frumple, you're more used to bodily fluids than I. You keep these, and I'll just take the one we need.
Oh, charming.
Now, about the incident. What can you tell us about Gilfrey?
I don't know him at all. No idea why he invited me. Truth be told, when I saw that journalist, my blood ran cold.
Why?
A lady has secrets, darling. Things she might want to keep away from her adoring public. I was worried Gilfrey might have discovered something about me and was planning on sharing it with the world.
Ooh. Interesting. It does sound like he was trying to expose you.
Do you know anything about what happened?
Not a thing, darling. I hid away in here when I arrived. It gets so tiresome being in public, you know. So many questions, demands for autographs and all that.
Well, since you mention it, I have a piece of paper here. Maybe you could...
Frumple, this is not the time. It seems to me, Dame, that you're making something of a habit of purloining items that don't belong to you.
And you're a damn thief.
Oh, darling, it's true, it's true. I just can't help myself. So many pretty, shiny things.
I'll take that.
They'd be happier with me, don't you think? I'm doing it for them.
I see. It's really not acceptable behaviour, though.
Everybody's allowed one dirty little habit, aren't they, darlings? It's such a little thing, really. They make such a fuss about it.
They?
The theatre owners said I'd ruined the play. It was the meerkats of Venice. Well, how was I to know they needed all three of those silly boxes? I left them one, but the others were so sparkly. I just had to have them, darlings. I had to.
You mean you stole props in the middle of the play? I take it they fired you.
Yes, darling. They replaced me. Replaced me. And it was all hush-hush, of course, but I didn't work in theatre again. These days I'm lucky to get booked for a cabaret night at the Darby and Joan Club.
Most distressing, I'm sure.
To think my career would meet such an ignoble end. Oh, darlings, you should have seen me in my prime. I did all the greats. Shakespeare, the primates of Penzance, Waiting for Doggo. Oh, I was marvellous, darlings, simply marvellous.
Sorry, I think Waiting for Doggo sounds way better than Waiting for Godot.
Farewell, Dame Celia. Madam? About the incident. How well did you know Gilfrey?
Aristotle, not well. I knew dear Ethelberta for many years, almost since I was a Creer. I remember she was so excited when Aristotle proposed to her. He always seemed such a kind soul.
Then you don't know why anyone would have done him in?
Gracious, no. Please find out what caused this terrible tragedy, Lord Winklebottom. I fear his soul will not rest until you do.
Okay. Where did they get engaged then? You can tell me.
What do you know about the incident?
I have tried to speak to the spirits, but there is a veil over these events. All is cloudy to me.
A load of rot.
Frumple, do be polite.
Oh, maybe you're right, Doctor. Recently, I find myself wondering if my powers are real after all. Perhaps it's all in my head.
You're doubting your abilities.
I might not be the only one. Think about it. An animal of science brought me here. Maybe he didn't believe either. Maybe he planned to put me to the test. If he did, I don't know that I would have passed.
Ah. That's interesting.
You knew Ethelberta quite well, I believe.
Oh, yes. She was a dear, dear friend to me.
I wonder, do you know anything about the circumstances of their matrimony?
Alas, I was unable to attend their wedding as I was on a 2-year-long spiritual retreat. I left shortly after their engagement. I'm not even sure where they wed in the end. They travelled the globe together, so could have been anywhere.
Do you know where they were when they got engaged?
Oh, indeed I do. It was on one of their expeditions somewhere in South America. She was so excited. Such a sad end. If I take one comfort from all this, it's that at least they are together again, and on a very great new adventure.
Okay, so Africa and South America.
Thank you for your time, madam. No, sorry.
What do I do with these pictures?
I have
then?
reservations about doing this. I'll just pop this in here and...
It's working. It's working. Let me see, dash it all. I say, there's a nude fellow in a bath. You know, he looks somewhat familiar.
Ah, the reference.
Well, I'll be jiggered.
I think perhaps we should endeavour to never watch that again. Ever.
Yes, quite so, old thing. Quite so.
Ah. Has an alarming past. Yes.
Where we met, where we got engaged, where we married, where Constance was born. A photograph of Gilfrey and Ethelbert are getting married. A photograph of Constance just after she was born. Ah, Reverend, there's something rather delicate I wish to discuss with you. Quiet, Frumple.
What is it, my son?
Well, that is to say...
You were in a dirty movie.
Ah, bugger. I just knew it had come out at some point.
You don't deny it.
Would that I could, but no. I feared Gilfrey had discovered my secret. I suppose that's why we're all here. so he can reveal the terrible truth to the world.
Surely not. Gilfrey wouldn't do something like that.
And why shouldn't he? Maybe he felt that it was the right thing to do, or maybe he was going to ask for money to keep my secret. In any event, perhaps I should be punished for my sordid past. I needed the money, you see. I was young and foolish.
The old church roof again. Couldn't you run a tombola or something?
I hadn't taken up the cloth then, you understand. In fact, in many regards, this is my way of atoning for that sin.
Well, don't worry, Reverend. Your secret is safe with us.
Oh, is it? That's a shame. It's a blasted funny story.
Rumple.
Well, goodbye for now, Reverend.
God be with you, my son.
Well, that didn't help me at all.
I'd really rather not. Seems that I might have a use for this after all.
Oh. What do I need the hose pipe for? Oh, of course. With the,
I can use this packing tape to attach the hosepipe to the helmet.
Yeah.
I'd really rather not.
No, I still don't have a suit.
Well, I have a diving helmet and a way to get air into it, but unfortunately it won't fit over my face. I need a way to extend the front of it. Ideally, a way which will still allow me to see.
Oh, thank you for that information. Okay, I think we're going to leave it on that note. Not sure how long this video is going to be until I edit it, so hopefully it's a decent length, not too short. I'm sure it won't be too long, but that's it, just the usual from me. If you like the video, feel free to give it a like, maybe subscribe if you'd like to see when the next episode is uploaded. I don't know. Maybe you've watched the first one and you're waiting for me to complete the game. I will try to do videos more frequently now I'm back, but we've still got a lot going on with the house. It's being extended, so lots of work going on downstairs, but we'll see. And of course, I'm back to work tomorrow. Joy! Anyway, that'll be it for now. Bye.